In the quiet corners of ancient Japan, a humble lotus pond nestled beside a small temple. Each morning, as dawn broke over the misty waters, monks would gather to witness the miracle of pink and white blossoms rising majestically above murky waters. One young monk, troubled by life's difficulties, asked his master, "How can something so pure emerge from such filth?" The master smiled and replied, "This is the greatest teaching nature offers us. The lotus does not bloom despite the mud, but because of it." This simple truth echoes throughout Buddhist philosophy. The lotus flower stands as nature's perfect metaphor for human potential. Unlike roses that require pristine soil or orchids demanding perfect conditions, the lotus specifically needs the murky, muddy depths to thrive. Without this seemingly undesirable environment, the lotus cannot develop strong roots or produce its magnificent flowers. Similarly, our human revolution, our process of inner transformation, cannot occur without the challenges that life presents. When we face difficulties, we often dream of escape. We imagine that if only we could find perfect circumstances, a different job, relationship, or community, we could finally bloom. Yet this thinking contradicts the fundamental principle of the lotus. If a lotus abandoned its muddy home for the crystal-clear waters of a swimming pool, it would quickly wither and die. The chemicals would destroy it, and the concrete bottom would provide no nourishment for its roots. Nichiren Daishonin understood this principle deeply when he wrote, "Suffer what there is to suffer. Enjoy what there is to enjoy. Regard both suffering and joy as facts of life." These words remind us that challenges are not obstacles to happiness, but essential elements of a meaningful life. The 13th century monk recognized that our problems serve as the very nourishment that allows us to develop wisdom, compassion, and unshakable happiness. Consider your own life's difficulties, financial struggles, relationship conflicts, health concerns, or disappointments. These are not random punishments or signs that you've taken a wrong turn. They represent the rich, fertile mud from which your lotus nature can emerge. Each challenge presents an opportunity to chant Daimoku with sincerity, to awaken your Buddha nature, and to transform poison into medicine. The principle of changing poison into medicine, Hendoku Yaku, stands as one of Buddhism's most powerful teachings. This doesn't mean simply finding a silver lining or forcing a positive attitude. It refers to a profound alchemical process where life's toxins become the essential elements for spiritual growth. Just as the lotus transforms the pond's muck into magnificent blossoms, we can transform suffering into enlightenment. In the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha explains this principle through various parables. One such story tells of a wealthy man whose house catches fire while his children play inside, unaware of the danger. Unable to convince them to leave their games, he promises them wonderful carriages, deer, goat, and ox carts waiting outside. The children, excited by these gifts, rush to safety. Though the promised vehicles weren't literally waiting, the father later provides something far greater: magnificent white ox carriages representing the supreme vehicle of Buddha wisdom. This parable teaches us that difficulties, the fire, often lead us to unexpected treasures, the white ox cart. Had there been no danger, the children might never have discovered the greater gift awaiting them. Similarly, our problems push us toward our human revolution, a transformation far more valuable than the comfort of an easy life. The phrase human revolution might sound abstract, but it refers to something very concrete: the daily process of overcoming our lesser tendencies and manifesting our highest potential. It occurs when we face challenges directly rather than avoiding them. It happens when we chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo with conviction, awakening our Buddha nature to transform our circumstances from within. Imagine a young woman struggling with a difficult workplace. Her colleagues are critical, her boss unappreciative. Each day feels like wading through emotional mud. She considers quitting, dreaming of a perfect job elsewhere. Yet, following the lotus principle, she stays and chants abundantly to the Gohonzon. Gradually, her inner life transforms. She develops patience, wisdom, and compassion. Her changed perspective influences her workplace. Some relationships improve. Others remain challenging, but no longer disturb her inner peace. Eventually, she may indeed move to a different position, but she does so having bloomed where she was planted first. This approach contradicts our culture's common advice to cut toxic people out or leave negative environments. While there are certainly situations that require removal for safety, the Lotus wisdom suggests that running from difficulty often prevents our growth. The mud isn't an unfortunate circumstance, but the essential environment for our development. Nichiren wrote to a follower facing persecution, "The journey from Kamakura to Kyoto takes 12 days. If you travel for 11 but stop with only 1 day remaining, how can you admire the moon over the capital?" His message speaks to persistence amid challenges. Many practitioners abandon their practice when facing obstacles, not realizing they might be just 1 day away from a breakthrough. The lotus doesn't bloom overnight. It requires patience and continuous effort. The Buddha's own life exemplifies this principle. Born a prince with every comfort, Siddhartha Gautama could not find true happiness until he left the palace and experienced life's sufferings. His enlightenment came not by avoiding difficulties, but by facing them directly, understanding their causes, and discovering the path to their resolution. Had he remained in palatial comfort, the world would never have known the Buddha's teachings. When we examine our own lives, we often find that our greatest growth came during our most challenging periods. The loss of a loved one teaches us impermanence and the preciousness of each moment. Financial hardship develops resourcefulness and appreciation for simple pleasures. Relationship conflicts deepen our understanding of human nature and compassion. These difficulties, painful as they are, serve as our lotus pond's mud essential for our spiritual growth. This doesn't mean we should seek suffering or remain in truly harmful situations. The lotus needs mud, not poison. Chanting Daimoku to the Gohonzon helps us discern which challenges to face and which to leave behind. The key lies not in the external circumstance, but in our internal response. Do we use the challenge to strengthen our faith and develop our Buddha nature? Or do we allow it to crush our spirit and diminish our light? In his letter, Winter Always Turns to Spring, Nichiren offers encouragement to a follower facing severe difficulties. No matter what happens, regard it as you would a dream, and never be discouraged. If you are of weak resolve, you had better not enter the path of true Buddhism. Be resolved and consider that, by taking faith in this sutra, no prayer will go unanswered, no offense will remain unforgiven, no good fortune will be denied, and no evil will go untransformed. This perspective transforms how we view life's challenges. Rather than obstacles to happiness, they become opportunities for transformation. The organization that frustrates you, the family member who misunderstands you, the illness that limits you, these are not impediments to your happiness, but the very conditions that can lead to your enlightenment. The 13th century monk Nichiren lived this principle throughout his life. Exiled, nearly executed, constantly persecuted, he transformed each hardship into an opportunity to demonstrate the power of the Lotus Sutra. From the windswept Isle of Sado, he wrote some of his most profound treatises. Facing execution at Tatsunokuchi, he manifested such dignity that the executioners could not complete their task. Each difficulty strengthened his resolve rather than weakening it. In our modern world, we often seek to sanitize life's experiences, to remove all discomfort and challenge. We build comfortable homes with climate control, consume media that confirms our existing beliefs, and surround ourselves with people who rarely challenge our perspectives. We've essentially tried to pave the lotus pond with concrete, creating a sterile environment where we hope to thrive. Yet in doing so, we often wonder why we feel unfulfilled, why our lives lack depth and meaning. The lotus teaches us a different approach. It doesn't resist the mud, but embraces it, using it as nourishment for growth. Its roots reach deep into the muck, anchoring it firmly. Its stem rises through murky waters toward the light. And finally, its blossom opens above the surface, beautiful, untainted, and all the more magnificent for the journey it has made. This is why the Buddha chose the lotus as the central metaphor of the Lotus Sutra. It represents the potential of all beings to attain Buddhahood, regardless of their circumstances. The mud of our lives, our struggles, flaws, and challenges, doesn't prevent our enlightenment, but provides the essential conditions for it. When we chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, we affirm this truth. The phrase itself contains the word renge, meaning lotus flower. Each recitation reminds us that we possess the lotus nature, the capacity to transform suffering into enlightenment, to bloom amid life's challenges rather than despite them. Consider this the next time you face difficulty. Rather than asking, "How can I escape this situation?" ask instead, "How can this situation help me bloom? What qualities can I develop through this challenge? How might this difficulty nourish my roots and strengthen my stem?" This shift in perspective doesn't eliminate problems, but it transforms them from obstacles into opportunities. The great teacher Tian Tai explained this process through his principle of 3,000 realms in a single moment of life, Ichinen Sanzen. This profound concept reveals how each moment contains the potential for both suffering and enlightenment. The difference lies not in our circumstances, but in our response. Our ability to manifest our Buddha nature rather than our lesser tendencies. Practically speaking, this means staying engaged with life's challenges while maintaining a consistent practice of chanting Daimoku. It means recognizing when you're trying to escape the lotus pond for an imagined perfect environment. It means having the courage to sink your roots deep into life's difficulties, knowing they provide the nourishment for your growth. A story from Japan tells of two lotus ponds side by side. One was carefully maintained, with gardeners regularly removing debris and refreshing the water. The other was largely neglected, its waters murky with fallen leaves and natural sediment. Surprisingly, the lotuses in the neglected pond bloomed more abundantly, their flowers larger and more vibrant. The carefully maintained pond produced fewer, smaller blossoms. The natural impurities that the gardeners tried to eliminate were precisely what the lotus needed to thrive. Similarly, our efforts to create perfect circumstances often backfire. The relationship free from all conflict may lack the depth that comes from working through disagreements. The job without challenges may fail to develop our capabilities. The community without diverse perspectives may limit our understanding. Like the lotus, we need the full range of life experiences, comfortable and uncomfortable, to reach our potential. Remember that the lotus doesn't just survive in the mud, it transforms it. Through the miracle of photosynthesis, it converts simple elements into beautiful, complex structures. This is the essence of human revolution, not merely enduring difficulties, but transforming them into wisdom, compassion, and unshakable happiness. Nichiren wrote, "When you face difficulties, think of them as opportunities to strengthen your resolve. If you complain, the benefits of your practice will vanish. But if you rejoice, regarding troubles as opportunities for showing the power of the Lotus Sutra, you will change poison into medicine." This teaching asks us to radically reimagine our relationship with life's challenges. Rather than obstacles on our path to happiness, they are the path itself, the essential conditions for our growth and transformation. The lotus doesn't bloom despite the mud, but because of it. And we don't achieve Buddhahood despite life's difficulties, but through them. So the next time you find yourself wanting to escape your circumstances, to leave an organization, end a relationship, or abandon a community, pause and consider the lotus. Ask yourself if you're seeking to avoid the very conditions necessary for your growth. While some situations genuinely require departure, many represent the rich, fertile ground where your human revolution can unfold. Chant abundantly to the Gohonzon. Face difficulties with courage and wisdom. Sink your roots deep into life's challenges, knowing they provide the nourishment you need. And watch as day by day, your human revolution unfolds. A beautiful lotus blossom rising from the mud, transforming everything around it through its quiet, persistent growth. In the words of Nichiren Daishonin, winter always turns to spring. No matter how cold or dark your circumstances may seem, the warming light of your Buddha nature can transform them. Just as the lotus breaks through murky waters to reach the sun, your life can break through any circumstance to manifest its highest potential. This is the wisdom of the lotus, not to escape the mud, but to transform it into something beautiful.